3, 2, 1.
Good morning, Get Well Soon family.
And happy Sunday.
This is your host, Tyler Kidd.
And your co-host, Angelina Mesa.
And whether you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, all of our many streaming platforms that are always linked in our bio, hello, and welcome to... Fucking rude. The camera, defocused just as I was about to announce. Welcome to the season finale of season 1 of the Get Well Soon podcast. For once, I can remember the podcast episode because it's literally, there is none. Yep, we're on the last one. But yeah, we decided that we were going to wrap up season 1 and we are going to get ready for season 2. But you're not going to see us for a little bit, but it's fine. Don't freak out. I mean, you can freak out. I'd freak out too, because what are you going to do for the next couple Sundays? But we're coming back with season 2 and it's going to be so much fun. It's good. I smoked a little bit before I came here, so everyone's gonna have to bear with me, I guess. We'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll actually get a train of thought out. But season 2, we're upping it up. We're exciting. We have fun openers. We already have some guests lined up. Really excited about that. This episode and every episode of this season was sponsored by New Jersey Holistic Healing and Wellness. At New Jersey Holistic Healing and Wellness, they give you a different approach to handling a lot of the things that we all go through in life, whether it's being anxious, having anxiety, having depressed thoughts, all that other stuff, but also when it's not necessarily these deep emotions, but maybe things that happened in your childhood, just anything that has to do with the mental health and wellness of you. They bring you the approach of really sitting with you, finding out who you are and getting down to the root issue. And I've been coming here for well over a year now. Absolutely love it. See you on the 19th, Matt. And Angelina just started coming. So that's going to be a nice journey to dive into in season 2. Because now not only one of us comes here, there's 2. Mm-hmm. And she's going to be doing the sponsorship for season 2.
No.
I'm cracking up when I was editing the video and I said it in the last episode and you completely stopped. It just went silent. You were flipping paper and it was ch-. And then you kept doing what you were doing. Yeah, Ange doesn't. She's not a fan. I think you got traumatized the one time.
Yeah.
And it was a bad day to make you do the sponsorship too.
Yeah.
Because it was just, you were solo dolo. Round of applause for that. Since we're kind of going to be doing a little recap of season 1. Round of applause for when Angelina went solo by herself.
Very last minute too. Can we put that out there?
Yeah. I'll never forget that morning. That day it's up here. It's up here and it's up there in my bank accounts too. Awful day. Fucking awful day. So usually we do the weekly check-in, but I think also, like I said, everything is going to be about the season 1 and season finale. I don't know if I should have smoked before this. It's going to show the true listeners and viewers. I really don't know what I'm saying right now. Since this is a season, because it's the season finale, instead of weekly check-in, we're gonna do season check-in and what was your overall vibe for the season of podcasting? Wednesday mornings, the guests we had on, the fun things, we did events.
It was good vibes, obviously.
I feel it feels quick.
Yeah.
And because it goes quick, it kind of makes me feel like summer's going quick too. When you think about it.
Yeah, it has.
It's already the first week of August, technically. I remember in January trying to figure out where I was going to film a podcast at and stressing.
Yeah.
And then it's crazy because this office is big.
Yeah.
If we really had the equipment for it one day, we could sit down a lot of people at once. We could run a reunion.
Yeah.
There's a lot of seats. That'd be crazy. Maybe the next time there's some kind of influencer thing going on, we'll be we have a place. Come sit down. Let's all talk about it. Let's get well soon. That'd be crazy.
Oh my goodness.
Keep it in mind for season 2. For season 1, it was I've always been in front of the camera. For TikTok and stuff like that. And I did used to do YouTube, but for the podcast, it's a lot. It's different. And it's different to also see not different versions, but when we do our highlight clips or we're doing just snippets or even the hour videos, it's just crazy to watch, look back and watch and be I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you look back and there's 14 episodes.
It's hard to put it into words.
Yeah. Looking at it, when I was watching, I had the whole list because on our YouTube channel, it lists all of our episodes in a playlist. And I just clicked shuffle and I had it running in the living room while I was cooking and cleaning or whatever. And episode 1 played and I was they're babies.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was Do you remember like how nervous I was the first episode?
Yes.
Like so nervous. I was like jambling and shaking.
So was I.
But you were the one that was like, calm down.
I know.
I think also you were nervous too, but you've done this thing before,
Yeah.
like the setup and stuff like that. And I'm happy that you coming on as a co-host happened, even though it was last minute.
I know.
That was exciting. Yeah, we say this, but I could not imagine doing this. I really couldn't. Like I could not at all.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We're filming this on Thursday. You guys are watching this on Sunday, but what was it? It is Throwback Thursdays.
Yeah.
I was about to say it right. Throwback Thursdays. So going back to episode 1 of this season was all about accountability.
Yeah.
And like holding ourselves accountable, which I feel like was a theme that we brought into like all of our episodes. There's a lot of themes that we kind of carried into like our conversations and stuff like that. I think it was, are you a good person?
Yeah.
And we went over like what it means to be a healthy person and a toxic person, and like how you treat others. But also, I don't know if the Leo Skeppy thing was happening at that time, but I can't remember. But I know in like one of our accountability things, I brought up the topic of like, if you're going to check people or you're going to treat people some kind of way and you're going to talk to them some kind of way, like you have to have accountability in yourself of how you treat others. And when you ask for accountability from somebody, you also have to hold yourself accountable for the way you asked for it. Because in terms of social media, people will be like, fuck you stupid piece of shit. Now give us an apology story. And it's like, no, why would I give you anything?
Yeah.
Like, whatever. We did childhood
Yeah.
development and like the environment. That was an episode.
Yeah.
That was an episode. But that had a lot of good topics too, because I feel like we do touch base on childhood development, but like cannot stress it enough how important it is.
Yeah.
And I think in season 2, it'll be fun. Not fun, because like statistically, people don't treat childhood development the way they should. So the things aren't like super fun to talk about always, but it'll be interesting to be able to sit down and have episodes where we really talk about why that is.
Yeah.
Because we've always like kind of like said, product of the environment, things like that. I like watching the crime shows, obviously, and they always give a little backstory to the serial killers, and they all have fucked up childhoods for the most part. Yeah. All. Like, there has to be a scientific study. I need the case file, the actual case files. I'm going to pull up to that episode with literally case files of people who are crazy and like what their childhood was.
Oh, they're usually like adopted or their parents both died, like just like crazy.
A lot of them were like, they're usually touched and like,
oh yeah,
and like locked away or like neglected, or the mom or dad's a drunk. Some of them
wasn't Dahmer, he only had his grandmom, right? And his dad like beat him or something.
Something like that. A lot of that, getting beat. That's why when people like, I mean, there's different levels of beating, but when I say I don't agree with it, like there's people who get beat bad and then turn into serial killers. So Jeffrey Dahmer, the Netflix show they came out with, Evan Peters played it. Did you watch it?
Yeah.
I couldn't get past episode like 2.
See, a lot of people said, trust me, it's like cringy. Like, yeah, it's
it made me
like,
sick to my stomach.
Yeah, like it made me sick, but I just had to keep watching it. I love stuff like that.
Me too, but that was a different level. I've never like quit a show. Like I usually, even if it's crappy, like I'll go back to it. No, like by this end of the second episode, I was like, I'm not watching this at all. It was whenever he brought the first guy back and it started to get into that stuff. And I was like, no. No. And like he made it a sandwich and tried to give it to his neighbor. I think,
that was like the last episode. How do you?
Well, because.
You saw clips of it?
Well, that's like a true part of the Dahmer thing. But you know how in the TV show she says no? In real life, she ate the sandwich and got sick, and that's what made her go to the cops. And I saw that fact on the internet. Ugh, stop. Yeah. Ugh. Can you imagine?
I'm gonna vomit.
Because it's one thing to think something's wrong, you go to the cops, but then to know that because you went and did that, they ended up finding out, and you find out that.
Yeah, but didn't she already have, like...
a suspicion? Yeah.
So why would you... What if it was poisoned?
Well,
technically
who was the lady? Because I'll have her on the podcast. I'll be like, I need to ask you some psychological questions. And I need to know, what did it do? Like, can you... like, mentally, I don't think I could ever eat a thing of food again. No. I would have to...
I would never eat a sandwich again.
Pulled pork. Ugh. I would actually, like, my nose is starting to burn because it's actually, like...
Ew, how didn't you, like, smell... Ugh. Like, smell the
I just
sandwich
can't imagine...
and then smell...
Like, I know for a fact she
nasty.
didn't think he was, like, eating people.
Well, no, but
I think she might have just thought, like, something was wrong. Like, he maybe was, like, butchering weird things or, like, stuff like that. So that's what I mean.
Yeah,
like,
but she heard people, like, scream.
Oh, see, I didn't watch it all the way, so that was an assumption. Yeah, why would she eat it? I would have brought the sandwich to the cops and be like, something's wrong. I just keep picturing it
Ugh.
every time I can't. All right. After that, we went into, situationships, friendships, and relationships. I'm pretty sure with Raph, who was our first guest on the show. That was really fun. He traumatized me with that episode. Like, just the inside of the boy brain, the male brain. I kind of was like, not him specifically if there was anything wrong, but when he was explaining, like, how men think in regards to, like, women and playing the game and all that, I was like, it's not safe out here. Like, I'll stay right inside. Yeah. I'm staying right the fuck inside. But that episode also, it was cool because it was our first guest. It was our first male guest. You were concussed from your birthday festivities. It's actually kind of crazy because I hit my head really, really bad, but it was at the beginning of the year. Remember when I had the egg on my head because I ran into the wire, the barb, whatever? And then your birthday comes around, knocked, concussed. Remember the first episode you came back, you were like, turn the lights down? I was like, yes.
I was vomiting. That was awful. School was awful. I couldn't, like, read a textbook without wanting to, like, vomit.
Yeah. It's almost like having motion sickness, but it just doesn't stop. But yeah, that was what I was saying about, like, Raph for him being the first male guest, stuff like that. Fun fact about that episode, we recorded, I think, for like 2.5 hours.
Maybe 3.
Yeah, it was really, really long. Like, me and Raph were just chit-chatting. But obviously, like, one thing about the podcast on YouTube and stuff like that is we don't want to do... Maybe if it was, like, a super special, like, episode, you guys are like, oh, this isn't special episode. But, like, I mean... tea. Like how I said, we would have a whole room filled. Yeah. That's a 3-hour special we would do one day. But I think with the attention span of most people, an hour is good. So sometimes we film really long episodes and then it gets trimmed down. Yeah. Roger does a really great fucking job of that. He does a really good job.
Thank you, Roger.
Thank you, Roger. You could be more time efficient, though. Just saying. Mr. Technical Difficulties. I'd love to have Raph back on for an episode because I have more questions now. I need more.
I want to be there too.
Yeah. Because I need to pick his brain on a different level again. Oh, we did Being a Giver in a World of Takers. That was a good episode.
Yeah, it was.
That was one of our first episodes where I was like, obviously I love every episode. I was going to put in here for us to pick our favorite episode, but I was like, I simply couldn't. Yeah. But that was the first episode where I was like, oh, this is real. I love this. Like, by that episode, I was like, this is amazing. Wednesday mornings are the best. I love the filming, the editing, the way that just from the beginning, everybody's been like so supportive, tuning in. They love it. It's been benefiting people. People are coming to New Jersey Holistic Healing. Like, I was like, this is like, I don't know. That was like the episode 6 is like kind of my star episode just because of how I felt on my way home from recording and the morning of too. That was a good morning. And then we had our second, I guess Chase was our second guest because it was Love and Acceptance. That was a really good episode, I feel like, because we did it through Pride Month. We had our Pride Month merch going. It was our first merch drop. We did our first pop-up event, and then we had, Chase come and talk about real below the surface level topics of what it's like to, be gay and things like that, and for it in general when you're not the mainstream, when you don't have the mainstream sexuality, that's always pushed and talked about and things. And I think I really appreciated that episode because, when Raph came on, we talked about deeper topics, but it wasn't necessarily deeper self. Where Chase came on the episode and he sat down and he completely opened up and talked about things that he usually doesn't talk about and usually hasn't talked about. So that was a really good second guest. I liked that episode a lot. That was the first episode I started changing the thumbnails and making them cute with the little white outlines. Because I remember after I finished, I was like, oh, this is so much better than what I was doing. So I loved that. That was a good episode. I also wore a dress that episode. That was the last time I dressed up. Actually, pretty sure that's the truth.
I don't think I ever have.
No, I don't believe you have.
No.
That's okay. That's all right.
Not my kind of vibe.
That was, yeah, I don't know what I don't know.
You had
Was I going somewhere?
yeah.
That meeting up
Yeah.
north. Because I was like, I had heels on.
Yeah.
But I've been dressing up a little bit more lately. Not today though. Today you guys got sweatpants and oversized t-shirt. I just couldn't. Was it yesterday? No, yesterday I don't even know if I left the house. This episode is sponsored by Bead Me a Story. If you guys are not new here, you've heard of us talk about it before. And if you follow us on our social medias, you've seen the bracelets that I'm about to talk about. Bead Me a Story was created by mother Adriana during the nap times after her son was born to give her something to do. And then she decided she wanted to take bracelet making to the next level. And she wanted to make bracelets, which I'm going to put a picture in between here of ours. You'll see how beautiful they are. Like, she makes sure she puts quality and time into them. But she wanted to make bracelets that had a backstory. So for us, it was the podcast and the meaning of Get Well Soon. There's people who, are going through issues. And so they get bracelets made for things like infertility or maybe even anxiety. And then people place custom orders for events and things like that. And it turned into this whole business. And we could not be more excited and appreciative to have worked with her this season. And we look forward to working with her on season 2. If you guys want to place an order or just check her out, you can always head over to the link in our bio where we have all of our episode sponsors. And we want to thank Adriana for sponsoring this episode and our previous episodes, and also for making us our beautiful, beautiful bracelets.
Okay, so next we have be honest about yourself.
Being honest with yourself?
Being honest with yourself.
You guys want to tell us what that one was about? Because I'm drawing a blank.
I can't figure it out.
I'm trying to think of the thumbnail, like what the thumbnail looked like.
No, I literally can't think.
Oh, I actually have to look now to say. I also wanted to say when we were doing, this was a little bit ago, but when we were doing like weekly check-in, but we did season check-in, I want to hear what your favorite episode was. Like as we're going through, comment down below. Oh, it was the episode Is Honesty Even in the Room with Us? That was the episode I looked down bad. I was down bad. Like down bad. I think I started the episode with like, fuck off everyone. And I cut it out. It was like this. It was the episode I brought the blanket. But I think it was another episode where we kind of tuned into accountability and awareness.
Yeah.
And also like, I think we talked about a couple of situations where there was like people were delusional. And so we were like, is honesty in the room with us, like checking in on that. That's probably why I don't remember that episode, because I was down bad and it just is blanked from my memory. But I do remember that one being a cozy episode. I brought that blanket. If there was a storage closet in here,
we'd have blankets.
I would store all the time. Like I would put so many things, and also I put all the goddamn equipment in there.
Yeah. Next episode was self-love. That was my solo
with Katie.
That was traumatizing. The morning was traumatizing.
I'll never forget you texted me and said, I think this just changed my life.
Yeah. And then the episode itself was very helpful, very life-changing, I think. I think that was a big episode that made me realize, shit, like, I don't really love myself. I need to get it together kind of thing. So, yeah.
That was good. And it was kind of cool for you to have that one-on-one.
Yeah.
To have someone with there. I know after you were texting me about the episode and like stuff like that, I was like, I am having such bad FOMO. Like, I can't wait to have an episode with her. I'm so excited to have her on for season 2 because I haven't been able to experience that. And I just, knowing her now, knowing how it went for you, like she's going to do something for me up here. She's going to either unlock something, she's going to boost something, she's going to have a like reality check me on something. And I love that. I can't wait. That was a really good episode. That was, the episode that the highlights from it, remember they were like increasing really good. That was the first one we added up and we were like, oh shit. I loved her outfit in that one. That's another thing too. I loved her outfit in that. She always dresses very like, it's very cute. Free. And it's very free and cute, but it's still dressed up. Yeah. Like it's not like me. Because, like, I'm cozy and free.
We have our last few.
What was it? Mental shifts or something? That's our episode with Mara.
Yes.
That was a fun one.
That was a fun episode.
That was fun because it was the first time. I don't know if you had met her in person prior to that, but that was the first time we had a guest on that was my first time meeting them.
Yeah.
And, like, she came and just served.
Full energy.
Full freaking serve. She gave us the crew necks.
Yes.
We were like her little minions side by side.
Yes.
No, it's a dumpster fire. I need her to put that on a shirt. I'll never forget that quote.
I know.
Loved it. She is going to vendor for the Get Well Soon annual party.
Oh.
I sent it over to her. I'm really excited about that. So last year, to kick off like Get Well Soon, before we did the podcast, because I started my own business in September of last year, so almost a full year, I did a launch party to kind of kick it off, and we did food, drinks. People had VIP access to the first merch drop, things like that, and it went so freaking well. And I just love the vibes that I decided it's going to be an annual thing. So for this year's annual Get Well Soon party, I'm allowing small businesses to come and vendor for free. I didn't know people pay to vendor at places. Everybody was asking me how much and like the vendor fee. And I was like, what? No, like you have to get your own table, but like I'll show you guys where you can set up. But like, no, it's just, I'm just giving you a place for people to come shop because I thought,
that's crazy.
Yeah, I was like, oh no, but it's a common thing, I guess. But I want it to be like where we have like the main tent like before, and you can do drinks, and I'll probably just do not all the food. I'll probably do like maybe sliders again or finger foods, but then like outside around, it's like a little market you can go by and like check different things out.
That's cute.
Yeah, it's exciting. I thought it's like a mall, and then there's the food court in the middle, so it looks cute. I don't know what theme. I do want to do a theme, but I don't know what theme. Last year was just kind of like vines and butterfly because it was like fresh start. I kind of do want it to be a theme. I just don't know if I want it to be like silly or not like an all white. I wouldn't do that, but it's on Sunday and I kind of want to do like Sunday's best. I don't want people to actually like have to come in like not church closes, but I think like, cause that's what Sunday's best is, but I want it to be like dressed up.
Yeah.
But I thought maybe Sunday's best would be a cute theme. But yeah, that was a really good episode because that outline of that episode, we did not go on at all.
And it just like flowed so well.
So freaking well. And the episode outline was us talking about like being positive, how to be more positive or whatever. And we still got that message across, but Mara took us in it's Mara or Mora? Mara. Yeah. I just want to make sure because after John A, I'm like traumatized that I'm saying everybody's, not that that's a bad thing, but I was just with her and I said her name wrong the other day too. And I'm like, I can't get them right. But with Mara, it was cool because she showed that, but by opening up and sharing exactly how things aren't, you know what I mean? Like she opened up and was like, shit can be fucked here. I got shit fucked here. Like I'm kind of just, doing my thing, like things like that. But it showed that she was such a positive person, even if she's not 100% put together. But also we talked about how you can't be 100% put together. Perfection's not a realistic thing. And how boring would it be if you perfected yourself? Like, then what are you doing? What are you looking for? How do you get to challenge yourself? I love challenging myself. I can't imagine being perfect, even though we strive to be perfect and we have things like imposter syndrome. So one of the segments that we did, a lot of the episodes, was our anonymous submissions. If you guys didn't know, we have our anonymous Reddit page, Facebook. You can submit things all over. We had some interesting ones, 100%. We had the one about the woman and her friend who was lying to her and it was causing a strain on the relationship. We've had a few on, maybe like 2, I think, on the Facebook thing. We actually have one that was answered only on Facebook that I briefly was going to touch on. But then we got this series. We haven't talked about this on the podcast yet. We got these series of, I don't know what you would call I don't really know. I don't really understand fully what's being asked in these. So I'm just going to read it. Yeah. We're going to go for a little story time. So this person sent in a bunch of entries, and the first one was a submission question. Assuming you were single, do you two gals believe in sliding in someone's DMs? Some guys try to do it, but then get blocked. And some guys are worried about doing it because they don't want to get left on scene or have it not be read at all. I don't know what's worse, being left on scene or it not being read at all. So I believe you can slide in somebody's DMs because social media is like that, but it's how you slide in the DMs.
Yeah, don't be creepy.
And don't be like, you got snapped. Please let it be. Can I take you out on a date? Oh my
God. If you still use Snapchat as a communication if you're in a talking stage relationship, please, oh my God. I can't. Just pick up the phone and call the person or text them.
Or show up outside of their house with a bouquet of flowers and say, we're going out, get dressed. Like, can we?
I don't want to see the side of your face. Like, you know what I mean?
And if there's like younger people tuning in, okay, you guys get a pass on that only because like in high school, yeah, I was snapping people. But if you're one of us, okay, we're hitting the quarter. We're hitting a quarter.
Oh my God. gonna work.
I just realized that saying that a quarter of our lives, we're hitting our quarter life crisis. We are hitting the quarter life crisis area.
I'm hitting my quarter.
She's a little early.
Yeah.
I'll be there next year, I think. Don't ask for Snap. Like, take me the fuck out. Like, I'm too busy to sit here and Snapchat message you and snap the side of her face. And
Yeah.
no, show up outside of my house. Take that lightly. Take that very lightly, because I will let my dog out if you're not the person I want to be at my rest. Or if you get the wrong flowers. And then the whole like worried about being left on scene, not being read at all, just send it. Just talk your shit. Blow up somebody's phone. If they're going to answer it, they're going to answer. If they're not, they're not. And if you get blocked, you get blocked. And if...
Listen, I hear about some good love stories where all they did was send a DM.
Yeah. Or even like they tried it 2 years later, they like whatever. And then the girl gave them a chance, or the guy gave the girl a chance, and they're like married and have like 5 kids.
Like...
Just say it.
Just say it. But just don't be creepy. Don't do the Snapchat thing. And just ask her out on that fucking date, or ask him out on that date.
The worst they can do is say no or not answer. And that's not the end of the world, because there's how many people in this world. Like, it's fine. I learned that. I used to be scared of people not answering, and I used to be scared of double texting. I will simply just talk. Wait. I will talk to myself.
Pause.
Yeah.
How'd the date go?
I canceled it. It was supposed to be tonight. But I canceled it for different. I don't.
Okay.
I didn't tell you that. You're right. Yeah, I canceled. He said, oh. I just also, though, like, so I wasn't texting him. Like, do I keep it in or do I not keep it in? Because I'm actually about it. So... Speaking about DMs, I was supposed to go on a date this week, and I decided just now, Angelina brought it up, give a little brief talk about it, why not? And I canceled. But I canceled for 2 reasons. One's a self reason, and I'll say that last. But for the other reason is like, I am busy, so I don't want to have to be on my phone constantly talking to somebody all day, every day.
Yeah.
And he wasn't like that, which I really liked. I was like, okay, I don't feel like I'm like getting like somebody's like ramming down my throat. But then after the date was secured, it was like not enough. Like, didn't hear for days. And then maybe on Monday or whatever, it was like, we still good for Thursday? And I was like, I don't know. That didn't make me feel excited. Like, I didn't, you know what I mean? And I decided I'm also done going against when I have like, not that it was a bad gut feeling, but when I'm just kind of like, I get that bleh feeling, I'm not going to ignore it and push myself. So I kind of was just like, all right. And then I also was busy. And 2, I don't think I'm ready for anything serious. So, okay, I don't know. I don't want to say that like a cut it off thing, but
you need to have like these butterflies when, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like you need to have that feeling to be like, okay, this is gonna, you'll know.
You want to know what it also could be?
It's true when they say,
you know when you know.
Yeah.
I think another thing too, though, is for so long, it's always been people I know. Like if I'm talking to them or I'm fiddling around with them or whatever it is, I know them.
Yeah.
And so
you're
like
comfortable.
So I also think it was an out of my comfort zone thing that I eventually do have to push myself out of, because I have told myself I'm done. I'm done. Like, I need something new, fresh and new. So I'll work on that. So that's how that started. But then we started getting more messages from this person. Another submission question. Would you find it odd if a man you were interested in hadn't dated or talked to relationship-wise anybody in years? I'm sure you're going to do research and get as much as you can on a man you're interested in. So if that was something you found out, would it be a red flag? As somebody who's not been in a relationship in a really long time, no, because I would be a hypocrite. I don't think it would give me a red flag. I think if there's red flags, it would show up in a different way. I think somebody not being in a relationship doesn't really mean anything. And it wouldn't stop me from like getting to know that experience. Submission question again. If you feel comfortable sharing.
Same person.
Yeah. If you feel comfortable sharing, what is your type, Tyler? I don't have a type. I just like people. I think some things I obviously like is like, I want you to be tall. I feel like I can climb you like a tree trunk. And then other than that, really, like, because my mom runs dentist offices, I guess nice teeth, but I don't really have a type. Like, it's not like
nice teeth is huge.
Yeah. Nice smile too.
Yeah.
That and some height, you got me. Especially if you have like an accent. because I learned recently that I'm a big accent person. It's very nice to hear like the London boy.
Ew. I don't have like a turn on from that.
From accents, certain accents, can't be all of them. A Russian one would get me. A Russian. I've said this before. I've definitely talked about like Russian men, made a joke or something. I might have cut it out, but like just saying that, I just got deja vu of talking about Russian men. But there was a time I had talked about like Russian men, and you said like that's terrifying. And then I got we got another submission from them, and then they deleted it, but I had a feeling you might delete it, so I screenshotted it. So this person's talking about the what's your type, Tyler, and they said, I would like to change my last submission question to more of a statement. So things are a little confusing over here. It's spicy, but here it goes, Tyler. I think men in general can be master schemers, manipulators, etc. And it can stop doing that.
Go ahead.
It can be hard as hell to find men that are both fine and cute, as well as kind, sincere, hardworking, driven, basically has a good personality going along with the physical appear. But I'm sure you know or know of a couple of men that do qualify. Haha. However, actually, no. Actually, I do not. However, I feel like a lot of people now have sneaky links, so it's difficult to know who's all the way single or be out there putting their links in all different places. So it's surely not your fault and not easy to trust men these days. I don't know what you... So it's surely not your fault. What is he... That I'm single? Like, thank you. It's surely not your fault. And then, however, I feel like a lot of people now have sneaky links, so it's difficult to know who's all... Oh, wait, where does it say no? Be out there putting their links in all different places. Like... I don't know what, and the best part is it's spicy, but here it goes, Tyler. I just don't, I guess like they're trying to say like you're single and it's okay because this is how men are.
Yeah, I guess so.
And it's not easy to trust men these days, exclamation point.
I feel like it's a guy.
Me too, but the way that you submitted this is a red flag. The you not having a girlfriend or whatever is not a red flag. That's a red flag to me because
that's a red flag. Red flag.
I'm sure you know of or know a couple of men that do qualify. Ha ha ha. If they qualified, do you think I'd be single? Thank you for your submission. Thank you for your candor. We had a submission that popped up on the Facebook, and it was somebody, I'm assuming I don't know if it's a female or a male. After years of toxic After years of toxic relationships, I find myself in a good one. I was always the healthy one with a toxic partner, but I find myself questioning if I was the toxic one. My partner does close to nothing wrong, but I'll find something to bring up as a problem. Having days with nothing wrong bores me. Am I truly the toxic one? Am I in a habit I can't break? I'd love to hear your thoughts and insight. That is simply just healing and growing from previous traumas. Like, it's okay. You can admit that you might be the toxic one in situations, but by admitting that, you now have that.
You took a step forward.
And you have that like mindset of, okay, noted. Now what can I do to not be toxic? And what can I do, things to do to not be bored. So I think also I agree, like being in a toxic relationship, there's always something happening. You're always on your toes. You're always
arguing,
doing shit like that, being crazy, stuff like that. And then to be like nice and calm, it's almost like you need that like adrenaline running. You need whatever. So your calls self-sabotage. And I think that's very common, especially if you have always been the healthy one in a toxic relationship. You can carry traumas from other people and things like that. I would just, and also sharing it with your partner when you recognize you're being toxic or having a toxic moment, just being like, hey, I'm sorry. I was just toxic. I didn't mean to be like that. Or honestly, the days that you're like super bored, say like, hey, hon, do you want to go do something different? Do you want to go do this? Do you want to go do date night? Like do something to fill up that time to where you're not sitting there feeling like bored within your relationship. And you can be honest with your partner too and just be like, I'm a little traumatized, and so sometimes I'm bored, and sometimes I want to fight, and I'm struggling with it.
Yeah. And
by them knowing that, they'll be able to be aware when it's happening. They may be able to pick up on it to where they can surprise you with things to keep you, But I think it's just being patient with yourself and just,
communicate with your partner.
Yes, 100%. And thank you to everybody else that submitted anonymous submissions this season. They were very fun to read. I loved them. And I look forward to the submissions for season 2. I feel like we're going to get a lot more.
Yeah.
And that's going to be exciting because now that you guys kind of have seen a whole season, you're more comfortable with the podcast, things like that. Like, send them in. You can send them in while we're away too. Like, if you want us to start off season 2 with one, okay, that's cool. If you want us to start off season 2 with one of your anonymous submissions, you have a couple weeks. Head over to our link in bios, check us out, send us in anything. You have questions, comments, concerns, you want advice, you want to tell us a story, you're safe with us. We have multiple platforms to take them anonymously. And if you want to stand on period, you can put your name too. We'll give you a little shout out. After we did our episode with Mara and I had left the country, I got an out of country experience. We talked about traveling the world and how getting out of your hometown, which I highly, highly recommend, even if it's just still in your home state. We talked about that. Just go take an adventure anywhere. Just take time to be with yourself, to be with loved ones, friends, solo or whatever, and just go see different parts of the world because the world is so big and we are not meant to be like confined in a little bubble, like at all. It's not always the most affordable, but you can find affordable ways to travel. And that was one of our most recent episodes. So if you want to hear more about getting out of your hometown and traveling, head over to that episode. Going to do a little promo since it's a newbie.
And then we had our podcast crossover with
Oh,
Janae,
yes, we did have our podcast crossover.
which was huge. It was so much fun.
That was our first, like, I don't know. That was a cool thing. That was like a moment too, feeling like how episode 6 felt because she came on our podcast and then we went on to hers.
Yeah.
And like, I can't wait to see that episode and see everything. She's working on it, like the editing and things like that. That was exciting. And it just kind of felt like also just official to be able to do like crossover episodes. We look forward to doing some more of those. I think it'd be really cool to do a crossover with a podcast that has a host and a co-host as well.
Yeah.
Like a 4-person sit down. That would be really freaking cool. So stay tuned. Like I said, season 2, possibilities are endless. And if you want to come on the podcast, head over to our link in bio. We also have resources there, surveys. If you're watching this on YouTube, give it a thumbs up. You can comment below. And if you're just listening to us on Apple, Spotify, there's sections there for you to give us a rating and a review. We've gotten some really good ratings. I saw on Apple Podcasts, which I loved. I haven't checked Spotify. Spotify's a little tricky sometimes to log into, so I kind of give up. We appreciate the really good reviews on Apple Podcasts. It means a lot to us to hear your feedback, to also know where we can fix things that you guys like, leave as is. And to the weird men that comment to us on YouTube, thanks, because all publicity is good publicity.
Yeah, thanks.
Because they be beefing with us.
No, they really do be.
Like, a lot recently, too. I think we just got called delusional the other day.
Yeah.
I just say thanks for tuning in.
Get well soon.
Get well soon, Pop. So, yeah, we had the podcast crossover. We had our summer merch, which is still running right now. Yeah. Only like 2 more weeks of that. That was really cool because we spent that day. We were like ready to bang our heads after spending all those hours like designing and stuff. And then for it to come to life and people loved it.
Loved it.
Stop. I literally, Tyler Boyer was telling me that he got caught on the edge of like a stove or some kind of like sharp thing at work. And when he pulled off of it, he was like, fuck, I just ripped the shirt. And he looked down and he goes, not a tear, not a stretch, not anything. I was like, period, get well soon. We got the good quality.
Yes,
we make sure.
Look, I'm wearing it right now.
I know, I saw when I came. I meant to wear mine and I completely forgot. I just came with what I was in because I haven't slept. I've just been up all night.
Oh my goodness.
I got a lot of stuff done.
That's good.
And yeah, we mentioned earlier, some of our listeners have started coming to New Jersey Holistic Healing and Wellness. You started coming, so that's exciting. And another cool episode too, or like a little feature, would be to have the people that are open to it that have started coming here, coming and talking about what it's like to come to holistic counseling versus traditional therapy, not just us talk about it, because it really is like an amazing experience. I don't know, I can explain it so many ways to you guys, but it's an experience that like when you experience it, especially if you've done traditional therapy your whole life, you're like, oh, I get what she means. Like, it hits different. And we showed up and showed out for weeks. Even when shit was down bad, we figured it out all the way up until the last episode. I just want to say, I would like everybody, if you're listening to us, whatever, just to mentally give Angelina a round of applause, because if you listen to her pits, she gets a little down bad sometimes. And today was a shitty day, as shitty as it is outside right now. And she showed up. She's here. She's participating. I was not nervous, but I was like, I might have to just not shut up the whole episode. But I'm really proud of you. Oh my gosh, she's crying. You're gonna make me cry. But I'm just really happy that this podcast also means a lot to you.
Oh my gosh. I fucking hate crying in front of people too. So that's when I'm down bad.
Yeah. And we just love Angelina. And that's just all we're gonna say. We just love her. And we got her. I hope it means a lot to you guys, because it is taking her a lot to be here right now. And she's here. And so I thank you too. And when we start season 2, we will be in different spirits. I'm not going to claim what kind of spirits. She might be drunk. Because I think you'll be coming back from the shore, so who knows. She'll be tan. She'll have a tan, but you're going to come, you ever, like wild beach people? Do you know what I mean when I say that? Like hippie beach people? Like crazy hair, like clothes, like that's
my freaking natural
curly hair. We got to connect with a lot of special people through this podcast, and so to give you guys, we usually don't share numbers, but I haven't even let you look at the stat. And for the 3 months that we did podcasting, we reached over 443,000 people.
That's crazy.
Some of those, of course, could have been like re-tuning in or whatever, but to even think about that, cut that number in half, cut that number by thirds.
Yeah.
In 3 months, we reached almost 500,000 people.
Which is crazy.
And she also went viral this season. So let's give her a round of applause, because our followers on TikTok is just jumping. We're about to hit 600. We were at like 200 something
last week.
And one of a clip of Angelina went viral. It connected with so many people and brought so many people in on the podcast. Our TikTok videos have been doing so good. People are interacting, they're saving, they're sharing. So another round of applause for Angelina, because I'm gonna make a little funny meme. I'm making a meme. Like SpongeBob SquarePants when he would get the team member of the week on the wall. We're gonna put a picture like that of you up. I have Peek and Pit on here, but we're gonna skip that out of common courtesy to our bestie over here. We're just gonna skip that. And we will see you guys again
in season 2
in a little bit. I hope you guys miss us. I'll take love letters. She needs love letters, so you can actually send it to her too. Send us anything. If you're not following us on any of our platforms, this is the time to do it, because you do not want to be missing out when season 2 starts.
Nope.
We're coming in hot.
Yes, we are.
I pulled a Taylor Swift moment. Don't play with me. I'm so excited. Don't you worry. We're starting off season 2 with a special guest, so it's going to be fun. We love you guys. We'll see you in a few weeks.
Bye.
Mwah. Would You Rather, where we're each given, you guys know how Would You Rather works.
And this is your host.
So we have Raph here today. Pandora, Spotify, all of our platforms are always linked on all of our social media accounts. Welcome to the 5th episode of the Get Well Soon podcast, Why Does My Love Father Your Love? With guest Chase Hartnett.
Hello. Really raise our vibration. It becomes a superpower.
Yeah.
And we'll never be looking out externally for love.
Because, everyone knows you had a podcast prior, and you had said to me, I didn't even do this for my podcast.
No.
So it's almost, and I always said to her, I was like, oh, I can just be call me Split.
You could just be you. Split.
Like the movie Split?
Yeah, but it's
I'm not making
it Split. It's just you.
It is me.
Yeah.
There's 40,000 types of Barbies.
Smack. Pat.
Should I not say that? Is someone gonna call Dyfus on me now?
We're really excited to have a special guest on here today. And as you guys know, when we have a special guest, we have a patient report.